G'day everyone and welcome back to Baggers Unfiltered 26. I'm your host Henry and you are...
Louis from Carlton Flaggers and the Perth Blue Baggers pod.
We finally reached the milestone. Welcome everyone to episode 67. 67!
Oh my God.
67! Oh, that's definitely going to get people unsubscribing straight away. But before we actually start this thing off, I am so happy with how our last pod went. Massive thank you to everyone out there who listened, who subscribed. We went up like 9 subscribers, and we got like 150 views nearly. So awesome work from you, legends. Thanks for listening to our pod. We appreciate it. Although Carlton are in absolute shambles, we are so happy to be here, and we would not have it any other way.
Indeed.
We have a job to do here. We need to preview this absolute belter tomorrow. So we are going to get our pants pulled down and hit on the bum with the old belt. But that's all right because we're here. We're going to preview it. And Ben Keys is going to kick 6 on our head and have 25 touches. And I'm ready for it. I am pumped.
It's amazing how 1 week can change your whole perspective, because now I'm going into it thinking if we can pull off a win here, we could somehow put the season back on track. It might give them some confidence.
Fans
All it takes is 1 week, I swear.
That's literally the thing. If we like somehow win this week, we'd go on a 4-game winning streak, and then we'd end up losing to like North Melbourne again by like 70 points, and then the season would just be over. It's the Carlton thing to do. Or to win this week by like a goal after the siren, and then let Nick Dacos destroy us the next week and have 35 and friggin' 6 and just destroy us apart and end the season. It'd be such a Carlton thing to do.
Truly, yeah. So it's a very much an emotional roller coaster, and no doubt I'm fully expecting to lose tomorrow, and then our emotions will be high again. It depends, really. I don't know how we'll take it. If it's a absolute belting, then I think we won't be surprised, but we will still be annoyed. But then if it's another second half fade out, then I think I'd be just more annoyed of the fact that we have to speak about the same issues each time. You know?
Like, actually imagine if we're like 40 up at halftime and we somehow lose again against a team that we always struggle to. That would generally be nail in the coffin. Like, I know the nail is probably 3/4 of the way in the coffin, but that would just be bang, hammer, good night. And that would be Vossi's coaching career as well. That would be good night, sleep tight, don't come back. Otherwise we'll have to fight. Oh, what a rhyme!
Wow.
What a rhyme.
Wow. Should snip at that. Not that there's that much time to do so, but oh well. Basically, we're the best stoppage team, right? Best from scoring stoppages, certainly in the first half at least. And Adelaide are the best at defending scoring from stoppages. So I think we're kind of cooked in that regard.
Nice.
Sam Doherty did some research. Check out his thing on the Footy Furnace, I think it was, on Channel 9. Yeah, I'm liking Doherty in the media spaces, adding some stats to it, which is good to see. Well, anything else to talk about in that game? Know that their forwards will tear us apart. Phil Thorpe.
Well, I think
Walker. At least we don't have to deal with Fogarty. He's injured.
No, we don't have to deal with another 5 goals. So Fogarty always destroys us. Walker never actually seems to really put on a big load of goals against us, so that's something, I guess.
Yep.
And Phil Thorpe could easily kick 10.
Yeah, well, he's going to outscore Carlton as a whole.
Apparently, yeah, according to Daisy Thomas.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. Imagine, bro. Imagine.
Wouldn't be the first time, I swear. I swear it's happened before. Anyway, I don't want to try and think about when it
Okay.
last happened. Let's go
Okay.
into the teams because there's a bit to discuss there. A bit of self-promotion here.
Oh boy, who's kicking this off, Louis? Because I know exactly what I want to say. Not sure if I'm allowed to say it entirely.
I'll say, well, so Hewitt has been dropped, which is good. He's been underperforming
Understandable.
lately with his clearances, disposal efficiency, and disposal numbers from last year. So it's a pretty big move to drop your best and fairest. But hey, I think it was warranted because clearly the midfield didn't seem to have much dynamism, if that's the word, I think. So I think it was needed, right? And we've been calling for selection integrity. It's been a key issue for under Voss's era, basically. It's been always too afraid to make a big call by dropping a big name like that. But maybe we've finally seen a page turned here. So, I hope so. Yeah, what do you make of the Hewitt drop?
This is the thing, and I put it in your Carlton community chat. I think this
Yeah.
is the perfect move. I think that this is like a consistent theme from now on. Like when you're dropping big names that are underperforming, fine. Like that's good. That's a step in the right direction. And I'll read out the exact message that I put in your chat because I think I
Yep.
might have
Go
hit the
for it.
nail on the coffin. I won't even lie. Like I want, and this is exactly it. This I'm not going to say a word more. I actually want people to realise that this is the right way forward. Last time George Hewitt was dropped, he was back in the ones the next week. To anyone going ballistic about it, it's only temporary. You want to be an F the next year, things can change quickly.
Yeah, very true. Funny story. I met him that week that he got dropped for the Bulldogs game. Seemed like regular person, but you never know. There's a bit of a thing between me and my dad the last time we saw him, and then he came back into form after that. So
I
something
actually
cool to
remember
share.
you messaging me that. I remember
Mm.
you messaging me that you were in Melbourne. You went to the Carlton Footy Club, and I can remember it I reckon it was on Insta or messages where you went. I just saw George Hewitt in all upper cases,
Yeah.
and I was so happy for you. It was like the best message I've ever got because like you
Oh,
barely
thanks.
see any players in
Yeah,
WA, and
I
I
know.
saw the notification pop up. I just saw George Hewitt. I'm like, did you get a photo? Nah, he was too busy.
No, he was walking past, right? And then I just was a regular tall guy, right? And but my dad noticed, and then he was like, "Oh, George!" And I turned around, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And he could tell that I was shocked, and he smiled. So he was like, "G'day." I was like, "Oh, hi." Yeah. So that will it's little things, you know. They're like celebrities to us, right? And then this
Exactly.
is why people come into our comment sections criticizing us that we don't care about the club. Mate, we have nostalgia from these
Ah,
moments. You
where are you?
cannot
If he's
deny us.
watching this pod, put it up
Yes.
your bum, you piece of
Ah,
shit.
but I don't think we should discuss the type of beef. There will be some
No,
beef that
because
we need.
otherwise I'm going to get us demonetized in the space of 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, we better be careful. So, who else? So, Inns, Williams, Haynes, and O'Keefe for Weitering, Haywood, and Hewitt. Now, the O'Keefe one really is quite puzzling because we thought Flynn Young
What
had
are
done
we
enough
doing?
ones. But that, so you know how we just talked about selection integrity, right? Then you bring in a guy who in the VFL who did not actually show much. It just
He was
undermines the whole
average.
rich. So that's pathetic.
Exactly.
Vossi, and it's it's supposed to be a rainy game. Wouldn't you want more speed, ground ball use than someone tall? I know he'll help chop out in the ruck and whatever, but I think you can do that with Lewis Young. And actually, no, Young can't do that because he will be on someone.
It would make Phil Ford kick another
Kai,
5 in the space of 5 minutes.
yeah, just get Mackay,
So that's
Kemp or someone do that.
yeah, and I think that's where I sort of like there's two aspects to it. Like I see that it's a wet game and I'd easily take Flynn Young in a wet game over Hudson O'Keefe, and I have no idea why we haven't done that. But I also see the aspect where you probably want two rucks, because if you're going to have Lewis Young there, you need someone who's actually like a defender and actually experienced. Like if you look at our back line, we've got a lot of experience, don't get me wrong, but we haven't got the height to match Phil Fort. And that's where you need Young, and that's where you probably need a second ruck in the actual game. So I see where we're coming from, but I still don't like it, man. I think Hudson O'Keefe is far away from AFL football, really far away from AFL football.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I think if Reedy didn't get suspended, Reedy would have came in a heartbeat.
Yeah, for sure. I think Hudson O'Keefe in this side is going to do more damage than him not being in the side, to be honest, purely because he'll turn over the ball or just as a free hit out to advantage for the other ruck. His best strength is contesting mark, right? But I don't think he'll succeed in that. But hey, I love to be proven wrong. I know we're highly critical of players at times, but it's about setting standards and standards certainly need to lift because it's a player and coaching issue at the moment. And then obviously got Wiedering for Haynes. That's a forced change because of the concussion injury to Wiedering, which is a real shame. It's going to be a serious exposure issue for us in the back line there. Williams coming in for Haywood. Hopefully seeing a bit more forward time for Williams, I think. Preferably a centre forward gives us an important sort of mix through the middle as well. He can turn over the ball a bit, though. That's the only problem. But, I mean, if he fixes that, he's got a chance. And he needs to really shine. He's very versatile. He needs to shine wherever he can. Otherwise, he faces not given a spot in the team by the end of the year.
Sorry, guys. Just got a little visitor. Wants to say hello.
G'day. Anything else to say on the team here? Any other positional changes?
I'm extremely happy with our forward line. Like if you actually look at it, Elijah Hollands is in career best form. Frankie Evans can easily get going, and he's shown it. He's been one of our best this year. Even if he's played just the one game, he's shown so much promise. Like he just seems there. Like, you know what I mean? Like he seems like he wants to be there, and when he's in that moment of having control of the footy, it's picture perfect. I love Frank. I think he's going to go a long way this year. I think the next step is going to be crucial for him, and I think he's going to just nail it. Ben Ainsworth, obviously another small, and then you got the three big fellas: McGovern, Mackay, Kemp. When you actually look at it, it's a good forward line, and then Williams sneaks down there as well. Burn. Like,
yeah, it's decent.
I think if you had, I generally think if you had one more small forward, I think we would actually consider ourselves a chance. Now that I look at it, I'm actually a bit pissed off.
Why? Because even young.
One more small forward. One more small, and I reckon we actually consider ourselves a chance. Wet weather. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you have one more. You're probably actually giving yourselves a good chance.
Well, if Kemp didn't kick 3 goals, I think he would be in a bit of strife to keep his spot, and that would have been the change made there. But
he is
because
very,
he was
very inconsistent, Brody Kemp. I'm sorry to cut you off, Lou, but he is extremely inconsistent, and I think if he has a 0-goal game this week and one of the games that he had against Melbourne, I think it'll be time to chop into the VFL.
Yeah, I agree.
But also in saying that, you don't bring in Moyer because he also looks far off the AFL level as well.
Yeah. Who's closest to make a debut or is probably Ben Camporelli, I think.
100%. Yeah. Oh, well, I've already said it in the podcast at some stage this year, but if Ben Campo can't get a game, he's in strife, and he's shown so much. He's shown a little bit of shine in the VFL, I don't know why we haven't given him a go. I think if he didn't get suspended last year and then last 4 games, I think he plays. There was nothing to
Yeah.
lose. He gets a spot. And you've seen him in the practice match, so there's obviously a little bit of promise with him. I think
Yeah.
he has to play this. He has to play this year at some stage. I just don't know
And then
when.
you
I don't
got
know when the
his
right time's going to be.
Yeah, and then you got his twin Lucas. He's going to have to contest for the highly contested wing role. So we've pretty much nailed Ollie Hollands and Matt Carroll. They're doing their job nicely, especially Ollie Hollands last week. He was decent with his disposal and kicking efficiency over the 80% range, which was good to see. Matt Carroll also pretty reliable. So it's up to Chesser, what's his name? Lucas Camperelli, and Akers and Cottrell to try and make a name for themselves, and then VFL to try and push through. So that's a watch there. I think you'll see the most changes through that area of the ground actually throughout the season. Pretty disappointing for Akers with such a senior head, and then he's finding himself out of the team. Cottrell with the injury issues forcing him out. Anything else of note here?
No, probably not for me. But as you said, that wing role is building quite quickly. There is
Yeah,
like 15 people that can play wing. Uh,
exactly.
I don't know if I might save this for a separate podcast, but at some stage, maybe in the next week, I want to do like someone who's playing, like I want to do players that are playing out of position because I feel like there's 4 or 5 that are probably not in position. Like I can name probably 2 or 3 right now in Hollands, and Hollands is in the right position. That's where he should be. But I like Carroll, uh, Hollands, Elijah Hollands. Uh,
Sometimes they
probably
put
like
this for show to try and confuse the opposition.
Yeah, sure. We'll see how we go tomorrow. But I mean, if I see Carroll on that wing again, then he's obviously out of position because he's a
Yeah,
halfback. That's where he stayed for. That's where he stayed for his career. That's where he started anyway. So,
yeah.
all
Don't.
right, on to the next topic. What have we got here? Oh,
Um. Okay. So this is something that has came up. It's not related to the game coming up, but we might be a cause for future discussions. And a bit of a hatred towards a certain someone in the media. So take a listen to this video and then we'll process it after.
I'm not giving 3-day updates. Well, the rest of the damn club is. Stop it already. Back your guy, give him a suitable amount of time, and then make your judgments when that time comes.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. And they need to the broader footy community needs to differentiate between the noise that comes from what was once just a supporter group that would come on a Saturday and support and vent, watch World of Sport on Sunday, vent, and then get on with it. But now, such is the world that we live in, that everyone's got a voice and a microphone, and it's not. I get it. I get supporters' frustrations, but whereas in the past, we all live with it as supporters, these are now broadcasting it as if they are in some position of power of which we take no notice and should take no notice of. It's not to be disparaging of the supporter base, but we are supporters, we are emotional, we are invested as just fans and supporters. That doesn't give you the right to make a sport of killing a coach.
So, what do you make of that?
you go first. I need to get my thoughts.
Okay. So essentially what he's saying, it's when he talked about we should not listen to the supporter base's voices whatsoever. And it's not quite his right words, but paraphrasing basically, it's quite it is disparaging to the fan base, even though he said that it's not. It is, because we are the ones that pay for these memberships. We're the ones that have the most passion. The clubs wouldn't be without their fan bases. Of course, we want to see the best for our club because it's essential for future generations and for the long-standing history of the club. It needs to stay relevant in this day and age. I wrote some other pointers down here. So we the honesty that we create with our fan bases, like content creators, fans abroad, just offering their own opinions, basically. It's really having a big swipe in the bigger content creators like Blue Abroad and the Jumper Punch, who probably give voices to the fans, right? It's taking a swipe at us because we go on those as well and voice our opinions, and it's having a go at you, the listener, you right there. I'm looking right into you. Right, and then standards can only come through scrutiny, so it's important that we keep up. We dispute their standards, and therefore change can happen. It's basically democracy, right? You have your voice, you have freedom of speech, you protest for what you believe in, right, and hope that the government will, and in this case, the club will make a change. And there's these sort of big media companies that think that they want to have the monopoly over what fans listen to. I think they're really just afraid that clubs are taking more of a listening to the fans rather than the media channels instead, and that we're driving away some of their listeners. I think there's certainly room for both. Their media channels are important for journalism, right? Fans can't get news out of the club and for true accountability, but we can certainly discuss it. So, yeah, that's what I would argue in that regard. It's really just a healthy debate. And if anything, fan channels like us show how much people value success. It shows how much we value it. We're passionate. We want it done.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, I mean, there's so much that you can take out of that video, isn't there? I want to say that I know that we are the most passionate supporter group in the AFL, right? Every week, fans rock up. I know at least two people in Brenton and Atush that rock up to every home game that there is, and
away game.
even Mars from TJP. Every weekend they're there, right? Because I'd say we're the fattest group that they're like, not obviously fat, like belly fat, but we're like the tightest group of supporters that they possibly can be. And for someone to come out there and say that all we do is go there, come back and rant, go there, come back and rant, it's not just that. We're there for the game. It's the game. The game of AFL is what people are there for, right? We love the game. We love the people that are playing it. It doesn't matter who's there. It doesn't matter who's playing. It doesn't matter what players are on that ground. If there's a red or a yellow Sharon, that's what we're there for. At the end of the day, that's all we care about, right? It's the footy. That's the whole game. You put it in a massive perspective. That's it at the end of the day. Yep. My concern with what that absolute turd has just said is it's people like yourself, Louis, that don't get to see games that often from Carlton. And they do this sort of thing. Like they're here with us, right? Like me and you right now. The fact how you don't see barely any games, but you still go whenever there is a game on, it shows that you care, right? It shows that you are attached to the football club and what they are creating, what they're building, right? Because it's not just because you're dragged there to go, it's because you love the club, you want to be there, you want to see AFL. That's what it is. And for that, for that bloke to go out there and say what he said, I'm deeply concerned for what the future has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, if people lean into that narrative around the media, then they're going to try and shut us out, which is pathetic. And people are just going to stray away from them even more, And then I'll also note that one of my reasons for making this account was because I wanted to engage more with the club because I felt quite isolated across the states, across the country. I made this account because I had so much passion that I wanted to share my passion with other fans. Albeit it's a pathetic name. I know it's a delusional name. For me to think that we'd win a flag after 2023 is quite naive and delusional in hindsight. But you got to admit, we were all quite high in the emotions. But now we kind of look back, it's kind of saddening to see where we've become. But hey, we're in it for the long run. We're young. We've got plenty of time left. At this point, we're going to have to feed it down to our generations to keep it going if Instagram's still going and YouTube and all these other various social media mediums. But yeah, that's my kind of feeling towards that sentiment from Gary Lyon and others within that we've come across in our social media platforms criticizing us that if we're so embarrassed to support Carlton, why are we doing a fan page? Well, I tell you why, because we want to lift standards, because show passion, and we want the best for our club. We want to see success.
Yeah, sure do. Well, I'm emotionally and mentally attached to this club, right? And that's why I'm here. Like that's why I'm talking right now.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Dad, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be doing this
course,
pod.
yeah.
Because I had to obviously follow in his footsteps. But
they indoctrinate
I love
you
this club
from the start.
Mate, I love this club so much. It's not even funny. Like the amount of times I think about this club a day is ridiculous, and the what ifs, that I come up with every day. Like, what if we won the flag in 2024? I think about it every day. I thought about it probably 2 hours ago, but and just for some naive fat bloke who's put on about 15 kilos and looks like a slug, talk about fans ranting and ranting and ranting. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with it. I think for him to come out and say that it's utter stupidness. It's stupid. It's not a part of AFL for someone to come out and say that the fans just rant and rant and rant and rant and rant. What? We didn't just go there to rant, you fucking idiots.
Well, so there is degrees to it. There's some people within our community, right? The whole Carlton community is the fan base. And within even society, there's the couple 1% that are quite strange or whatever, right? And do stupid things. Same with the Carlton community, right? You got the 2% that will graffiti on the walls, create actual crime offences against players, send death threats and whatever, right? Does not mean that it represents the whole of the fan base. So Gary Lyon is not only looking at the people that have been amplified because of their ridiculous actions, right, in these our social media platforms, right? He's not taking into the fact that most of us are quite well concerned with the club and would do it in a more diplomatic approach than what he's suggesting, rather than ranting. We rant, but we rant with reason and stats, right? And we always make sure it's never after the game, because if we did that, then it would be quite emotion-filled, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad I got rid of some of those thoughts. It might have even turned out a rant yourself, but is this a doubt he'll see this? But if you know him personally, why not give him a little jab? He's picked a nerve with all Carlton fans here, us as content creators and you as listeners. Time for some change. This means that you use your voice even more than you have previously, because that basically is saying that he knows that it works. People's voices infiltrate the club. That means just do it, but in a diplomatic approach.
I don't think that was a rant. I just think that he needs to learn the truth.
Yeah.
Like, just you don't know us. I might start going on a rant, but I won't. He doesn't know us as supporters. He doesn't know what we think. If he
Yeah.
listened to this, if he actually listened to this, he would not say a word.
Yeah, for sure.
But just because he's actually there in real life looking at the game and seeing all the Carlton supporters, maybe because of the heat of the moment, maybe because we've just gone down 40 points or whatever after we were up by 40 points.
Yeah, or
It's
20
just,
from
it's
the last.
ridiculous.
Yeah, something. And
He
with
needs
the
to
same
pull his
fade
head.
outs occurring heartbreakingly over the last 5 years, I think with a senior list, I think you can feel our concern, mate. And he's also a bit of a hypocrite too, because this is the same guy that was criticizing, what's his name, Goodwin, the Melbourne coach, and
Yep.
telling what needs to happen as a senior Melbourne past player, right? I think that's pretty unreasonable too, to have a fan like that come in and be such a strong voice. So I hope you're proud of yourself for turning thousands of fans against you. No one's going to listen to AFL 360. If you're on my Fox commentary, I'm turning you off and switching to Channel 7 if it's possible.
Yeah. No, I can't stand him as a commentator. He's shit. He's shitty.
Boycott.
We do better.
Boycott Gary Lyon. Boycott him.
There you go. You heard the man.
Yep. Anyways, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for staying along for the last 10 odd minutes, leaving us to debrief such a controversial moment, basically. So,
100%.
and I know you guys feel the same pain. I know that you can resonate with us.
Yeah. And I'll say it now. The comments that we get back, like in the pod, they agree with us. Everyone agrees. And if you don't agree, still put it in the chat. Still put it in the comments. I want to know everyone's thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, I want feedback. I want to see if we're doing a good job. I want to see if you agree. I want to see if you disagree. If you're here right now, agree, disagree. I don't care. Put it in the chat. We'll talk about it. Just don't.
Or hit us as a DM.
Tell me. Just do not tell me that I am not a Carlton supporter when I do this shit. Or it's not shit. You know what I mean? I'm worked up because obviously that bloke that was texting me on Instagram needs to pull his head out of his ass.
Yeah, there's been a few instances lately that I've caught on both Instagram and TikTok, which have infuriated me too. So it's a bit of an accumulation of things, really, that's influencing the need for us to discuss this. And it doesn't need to be discussed. I know it's a very random thing to talk about in a preview to a game, but hey, it's necessary. Boy, it's necessary. And it's crucial to unity as well.
Sure is.
Okay. That's all we've got.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to Baggers Unfiltered. I hope you all had a very happy Easter. You know what?
And Orthodox Easter is coming up too this weekend. So Christos Anesti to everyone who is a believer of that faith.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Go Blues. We're going to win this weekend.